Welcome to the series of C++ programming language. So in today's class I am going to tell you C++ is a OOPS language or C++ is a OOP language, right? So which is the correct statement? C++ is a OOPS language, this is the correct statement, or C++ is a OOP language, this is the correct statement. So what is the correct statement? So the correct statement is this one, C++ is a OOP language, right? This is the correct statement. And C++ is a OOPS language, this is incorrect statement. Why? Because there is no any word of OOPS in our programming world, right? Even there is a lot of people who is pronouncing like this, it is a OOPS language, right? They have some misunderstanding that it's not a OOPS, right? OOPS is nothing, OOP is there, right? OOP is there, we need to pronunciate OOP language. The meaning of OOP is object oriented programming, right? So C++ is a object oriented programming language, right? Even I can give you one proof of this difference between OOPS and OOP. Which one is the correct? I will tell you. I can give you one proof, right? So let's open our Google browser. This is our Chrome browser. Now I am going to type here OOPS, right? So look at this. Look at this. I type here OOPS, but I get the result OOP. I get the result OOP, and the meaning of OOP is object oriented programming, right? Let's check another. This is Wikipedia, right? This is Wikipedia, and even Wikipedia is one of the trusted website, right? Even Wikipedia is also mentioned it is a OOP, right? Wikipedia is not mentioned OOPS. Wikipedia is mentioned OOP, right? And OOP meaning is object oriented programming, right? So I hope you understand. OOP is correct statement, OOPS is incorrect, right? So we need to always pronunciate OOP, not OOPS, right? So I hope you understand. This one is the correct statement, this is the incorrect statement, right? We always need to pronunciate C++ is a OOP language. OOP meaning is object oriented programming language, right? So I hope you understand this statement, right? So after understanding this concept, I am going to tell you what is OOP, right? What is OOP, and after that I will tell you why C++ is a OOP language, right? Why C++ is a OOP language. So first of all I am going to tell you what is OOP, right? So what is OOP? OOP is a basically OOP is a technique, right? OOP is a technique or programming paradigm, right? OOP is a technique or programming paradigm, right? It provides set of instruction, right? It provides set of instruction, right? It provides set of instruction or suggestions, right? It provides set of instruction or suggestion for creating a real world or real life object in a programming world, right? In a programming world, right? So I hope you understand what is the meaning of OOP. OOP is a technique or programming paradigm, right, which provides set of instruction, right? OOP provides set of instruction or suggestions, right, for creating a real life or real world object in a programming world, right, by providing security, right, by providing security to the data, right? So this is the meaning of OOP, right? I hope you understand what is the meaning of OOP, right? And now our next question is why C++ is a OOP language, right? Why C++ is a OOP language, right? So basically C++ is a, I'm going to change the color. Okay, C++ is a OOP language, right? C++ is a OOP language because it is used to creating a real world object, right? It is used to creating a real world object in a programming world by storing their values and functionality, right? Right? So C++ is a OOP language because it is used to creating a real world object, right? It is used to creating a real world object in a programming world by storing their values and their functionality, right? And their functionality, right? So I think you have some confusion that what is real world object, right? I'm going to tell you, right? So let's move on my MS Paint. So what is the meaning of real world object, right? What is the meaning of real world object, right? Whatever the things is present in our real world, right? In our surrounding, that is called real world object, right? For example, your laptop is a real world object, that is a real world thing, right? Object is nothing but thing, right? So your mobile phone is a real world thing, right? Your fan, your fridge, your refrigerator, your AC, all these things is a real world object, right? And for storing all these real world object in a programming world, we need one programming language. Which programming language? We need one object oriented programming language. Why do we need object oriented programming language? For storing their values and their functions, right? For example, this is one mobile phone. This mobile phone is a real world object, right? So this is one mobile phone, okay? And I want to store this mobile phone in a programming world. So how can we store this mobile phone in a programming language, right? We can store by their functionality. Right? We can store by their functionality, right? And we can store by their values, right? By their values and functionality, right? So what is the functionality of mobile phone? Functionality of mobile phone is like camera, right? Mobile phone used to calculate your like your numbers. It have calculator, right? It have several functionality like calling, messaging, right? So all this is the functionality of mobile phone, right? For storing all this functionality of this mobile phone, we need one programming language. And which programming language? We need one object oriented programming language. And for storing the values of mobile phone, values in the sense, what is the name of mobile phone? The name is one values, right? What is the company? What is the price of mobile phone? All this is the values of this mobile phone. What is the color of this mobile? What is the weight of this mobile? What is the model number, right? So all these things is the values of this mobile phone, right? For storing their values and their functionality, we need one programming language. We need one programming language, right? We need one programming language, right? Which programming language do we need? We need one OOP programming language. OOP means object oriented programming language, right? So C++ is our C++ is a OOP language, right? I already told you C++ is a OOP language because it is used to storing the real world object. Real world object, it may be anything. Here we have a real world object is mobile phone, but it may be anything, right? So how can we store the real world object? By their functionality and their values, right? For storing the functionality, like calling functionality. So in C++ we need to create one class for calling, right? And in this calling we will write its functionality. What is the functionality of calling, right? So if we want to store the functionality of messaging, right, calculating, right, so we need to store with the help of class. I will tell you all these things, what is class, in our future lecture, right? So I hope you understand. And do you know what is the values? I already tell you what is the values, right? If we want to store the price of this mobile phone, then we need to create one data type. Which data type? We need to create one float data type. I will tell you all these things in our future classes. What is float, what is class, right? So for your reference I just write here, but don't worry about this. I will tell you in our future classes in a deep way, right? In a depth knowledge. I will give you one depth knowledge about this, right? So I hope you understand what is functionality, what is values, right? And for representing one real life object in a programming world, we need one object oriented programming language, right? And C++ is a object oriented programming language because it is used to represent a real world object in a programming world by storing their functionality like calling, message, like camera, right? All these things I already tell you, and their values, right? So I hope you understand why C++ is a OOP language, right? So that's it for today class, and please check out the description. I will upload the notes. Thank you.